Well, we've made it to Friday. We haven't made it with the internet though. So I am on, oh God, what am I on? I'm on the phone cellular thingy. So goodness knows how far we'll get without being interrupted, but it's the best I can do at the moment. I did actually impress myself. I managed to reboot the internet in here, and then it just went down again. So I think we've got extremely windy weather, and I don't think it's helping the situation particularly. And I've got blurry eyes. I can hardly see. Maybe I should put these blinking things back on. Oh, that is actually better. Anyway, so there's been power outages all around us. I don't know why we don't have a power outage, but we went to the gas station to fill up the car, and he said, yeah, no can do. He's like, we've got no power. There's a tree down on the Route 1, which is the 97. No, it's not the 97, I'm talking rubbish, on Route 1, and it's taken out a lot of the power in the surrounding area. But we seem to be okay at the moment, which is very fortunate, but we'll keep an eye on that. So, we're just going to limp on by with cellular. It is cellular, isn't it? That's what we're limping on by with. Now, Carleen has transferred from hospital. I can't keep these things on. Boop, boop, boom. So, I think this is what it's going to do. It's going to jump up and down, and I am terribly sorry. I can only apologise. Carleen has transferred from hospital. She is now back in Hawthorne Hill and is quite happy. So Nick is not with me today because he is down there with Sizzle, and he's setting up her television so that she can watch the cameras and keep an eye on what we're all up to, and then send us helpful hints and tips, which is really quite funny actually, because there's always a time delay, and sometimes what she's actually seeing is, I think it must be probably Jeannie's recording of a previous event, because she keeps asking me, which donkey's that? And I'm like, I don't know what donkey you're seeing because I can't see that donkey. So it makes for fun and games, I can tell you. So, lots happening. So she's quite happy there. She's getting quite settled, and he's taken in her phone charger because apparently she's run out of power, which is never a good thing. So that's us. We're all up and at it. Heather came today, and we've broken her already. I'm not proud of it, and I had to speak to Janine and admit to our error. She came and she very kindly started with the rabbits, and we have once a week we fully strip out the rabbit enclosure, because as we already know and we've already discussed, rabbits actually eat their first poop. So if you're meticulously clean, then they don't get the pre-digested nutrients that are in the first poop. And it's very difficult to tell the difference between first poop and second poop. Okay, it's a bit beyond us. So I think that to ensure that they do get the predisposed nutrients that are in the first poop, what we do is we fully strip out the rabbit enclosure and beds once a week. And that keeps it clean and fresh, and the rabbit's happy. But it's quite a big job, and it was a 4-wheelbarrow job, as Heather found out, and I think we've exhausted her. So she says she obviously needs to get back into barn fresh conditioning, and she'll be back tomorrow, which is absolutely lovely. So that's really super. And she was delighted to see Larky and meet Penny and also Sizzle. So that's super. It's like everything's coming full circle. It's really lovely. The animals in the barn are all doing A-OK. They're pretty happy. They're up to their usual shenanigans. I have a little friend in Magnus, and he follows me around, and we go for a little chit chat back in Tanner's barn, and he helps me clean out the goats area and the stalls. He lets me know when I've dropped hay, which he very kindly eats up, and he generally oversees to make sure that a good job has been done. So he's really quite charming and very good fun. So I'm very fond of him actually. His little buddy Max is. I always thought that Max was the friendlier of the two, but the funny thing is, Magnus, I think once he warms up to you, he's really very, very sweet. So he's he looks like he could be very good on outreach visits. So that'll be interesting to see how he progresses over the next period of time. So that will be nice. What else are we doing? The siding is nearly completed on the side, the long side of the barn that faces the driveway. We're 5 planks short, believe it or not. And Nick and I went to pick up the wood yesterday, and we were told, 50 to 60. So we erred on the side of caution and bought 60, and we're 5 short. So we'll have to get those. I think that the problem with it is Janine during the week and as yesterday have kind of cleared them out of that specific width of plank. So we might need to get that sorted. The other lovely thing is that they have replaced all of the rotten soffits that were underneath the roof. So it's looking much neater, much tidier, and it will allow us to put up guttering, which in turn should help protect the sides of the barn from water damage. We're doing everything, all the repairs that we're making, we're attempting to do it with a keen eye on long-term success. We're not using, you might have noticed, too much in the way of baling twine or tape. But I'm not going to say that we won't be reduced to that sometime soon, because I have been tying things up with baling twine. Carlene would be proud of me. So everything's been done with the long-term progress of the farm and making sure that we're back to watertight and it's easy to run. I think, as I wrote in the Daily Doggy, we're very, very, very aware of everybody's needs and wants and desires to be as fit and healthy as possible. So we're looking at things to do that will ease some of the burden. There's a lot of heavy lifting. I think one of the things that's exceptionally difficult actually to negotiate is when you're transporting hay bales, because the hay bale string is so thin, it really pulls on these joints here on your fingers, and it's exceptionally uncomfortable and a right pain in the butt, quite frankly. So we're looking at things like, I was talking about hoses this morning, things that we can do that will maybe just try and make everybody's job easier to accomplish. Because I think when you make it easier to accomplish, people are more likely willing to come and give you a little hand, I hope. But I can only stress the fact that we've got so many phenomenal people who turn up day in, day out, windy weather, icy weather, you name it, they're there, and the animals are cared for to a phenomenally high standard. So we are very lucky, because from speaking with friends and other rescues, maintaining a regular, reliable and high caliber volunteer group is pretty tricky. So we can only be very grateful for that. What else? It's been beautifully sunny today and scarily windy. I was sitting this morning at my circular table in the main house, and I was looking at those beautiful skylights that they put in and thinking, I remember when a tree came through those, as I'm watching the trees bending back and forward. It has been just blowing a hoolie here. It's absolutely unbelievable. And so far, we've only had little branches coming down, and that's something I'm very grateful for. I think once you've had a tree fall on your house, you're a bit like, uh-oh, it's now sort of like totally and utterly windy, and now I'm terrified. So I think we've got wind. The wind will be high until early evening, and then I think it's going to die down hopefully overnight and then pick up again tomorrow. Perfect. So not that bad, but it does take a tremendous amount when you're wheeling your wheelbarrow and the sawdust, or the dirty sawdust, is flying, and then you're looking at the trees happily waving their branches above your head. Never a good look. Never a good look. So the siding should be finished early next week, which will be lovely. Then Janine will bring up the metal siding that's going on the Old Donkey Cafe, Donkey Hill side of the barn. We're putting metal on that side. That's quite a new thing for us, and we're going to see that's the side that had the most water ingress, and it is just the amount of rot on that side of the barn has been absolutely phenomenal. When the kennels were taken off from, gosh, it must have been 11 to whatever it was, or is it 9? No, I don't know. Yeah, it must have been 11 to whatever number they had over the donkey side. There's just so much rot on the outside, and where those little house things were that covered the dogs when they went in and out, it's a mess. We've got holes, we've got you name it. So we decided that what we're going to try is metal cladding, and the reason we're putting up the metal cladding is we're hoping that it is not going to absorb the water in the same way, and it would maybe work really quite nicely over that side. So Janine's picking that up in South Carolina, and the reason she's picking it up there is because it's about a quarter of the price that it actually is up in Massachusetts. Most likely because I think metal clad buildings, farm buildings, are more common maybe in South Carolina, because certainly when we've been driving around and we've been at the auction down there, you do pass a lot of farm buildings that are clad in metal. So it's maybe a far more popular material than it is up here, because it's extremely costly up here. So while she's there, she's also picking up metal roofing, and we're going to put metal roofing on the Tanner barn, because I was actually in there today, and it's got very brittle corrugated plastic, and it leaks, but also there must be a ridge over the peak of the roof, because it was rattling like crazy. So I've got my very nervous thoroughbred in there that we have starting training, and I'm thinking this is just going to finish her off. So there will be metal roofing coming for that, and the metal roofing will also be going on the I wonder what we're calling it, the building that comes off the back of the G tent where the goats used to live and where the chickens are going. I'm not sure if that's got a specific name, that building. Can't remember for the life of me, but it's the building. It used to have a lot of bud stuff in it, and it's got the lean-to stall, and it's going to. It also has let's just call it a partial plastic roof, because the roof is falling apart basically. So we're going to replace that with metal, and hopefully that gives us a nice, safe and secure roofing. And that means that the chickens, we can start thinking about bringing the chickens down and getting everything settled in there. So that will be absolutely fantastic. And since Janine has to wait for that to come into stock in the suppliers down in South Carolina, she will probably not be turning around to come up, and she'll be bringing the little small donkey trailer up with her, which is super. So she probably won't be leaving till Wednesday or Thursday. But as the discussion has gone on, although Carleen sometimes forgets and changes her mind, it's been felt that it was important for Janine to be down there, get everything she needed done with her home in South Carolina, because she's actually got some people moving into it. It's just, she doesn't want the upset of having to go back and forward all the time when her mum's like this. So I think she'd like to, I mean, this has been Janine's dream home. You know, I mean, it really is. It's the climate she likes. Nobody likes hanging out here in the winter. And, you know, she's built it from scratch. It was built to her specifications. It's been, you know, and then events just took a turn for the unexpected, as life always does. And she's pondered very many ways to deal with South Carolina. And having been to the house is beautiful. The barn has been built to her needs and her usage, and she is in the most beautiful little enclave, and she's got all the riding that she likes to do on her doorstep. It's close to downtown Aiken, which is just lovely, And it's such a shame, you know, to think that it has to go because she's stuck in cold and windy Massachusetts with the rest of us. So I think that this is a good solution, but she needs to go down and get her home ready for its transition, and then allows her to hold on to it so that she doesn't give up hope that she can actually escape cold Massachusetts winters. You've got to have hope in life, I think. So she'll get that all done, but it's important that she gets it done without having to come back and go back and then do other things, blah, blah, blah. So she'll just take her own sweet time and come up. And fortunately, Carlene's in the best possible place for her at this precise moment in time. And we'll all just keep the home fires burning and ticking over as we usually do. Now, we tried to switch the water on in the barn today, and it didn't come on. So we've had the burst pipe fixed. We think it needs to be switched on over at Source, which is actually the White House. So the gentlemen are going to come back next week and switch it on for me. He said to me, "You just turn it on under the sink at the ground." I'm like, I did that. Even I am capable of that. So when in doubt, I said, "Nick, have I done the right thing?" And he went, "Yeah, I don't know why it's not working." So we spoke to Clevel, and he sent his plumber over to have a look at it. And he said, "Yes, it's not working." I went, "Thank you very much. It wasn't just me being silly." So he is going to go and sort it out, because somebody has to, because it's not me. So that will be good. That gets us a central point with water in the barn, which is always appreciated. And we'll take that from there. And that sounds like that will be next week. So that's absolutely something to look forward to, I think. It's silly, the things that you get very excited about, like running water inside the barn and not outside. So that's really good. And I'm trying to think of what else is happening. Heather is bringing a friend, and she's coming to volunteer, which is nice. Then Brittany is bringing somebody who's looking to volunteer as well, which is lovely. And we're having lots of inquiries. I've actually had another lady, I should check that, who's reached out via the messenger thing on Facebook. So I've got back to her. Then we've got 2 interns starting. So it's busy, and we're getting there. The interns don't start till April, though, I don't think. And one's in May. So that's good. So that gets us all up and running and ticking along quite nicely. Heather, I asked if she saw a difference in the farm, and she said yes, she did. She said, you can see where it's going. It's got direction. It's not stagnant any longer. The courtyard area it's in a mess. I mean, it's really not how we would like to have it, but we've got works vehicles down here, we've got trailers down here that are being used to take the trash away to the dump, because we're generating so much as we take off, siding and bits of rotten barn, basically. So there's a lot coming in and out. There's a lot of surface water and ice floats. So it looks like we've got icebergs going on, and it's not going to get tidied up until we're finished with all the work, and that's just how it's going to go. So that's what we're up to. I have one package here. There was no mail that I could see other than things that were coming in for medical things for Carlene. But I've got this box from Chewy, and it does not say who it's from. It just says to Goldy's farm. Oh my golly. What am I doing? Salt licks. That's perfect, because you'll have noticed that our little cow, she likes having a bit of a salt lick. Thank you very much. That's why it was an odd-shaped, wobbly box. So that's a couple of salt licks. That's very much appreciated to whoever sent those. Thank you. Right, we shall go and do questions. Questions myself. So I have to go all the way back up to the beginning, so bear with me. Oh dear. It is a happy Friday. Oh, the other thing was, there was a box of oranges, I think it was, a box of fruit. It was addressed to Carleen. And I know somebody had mentioned that. So I sent it in with Nick. It's a sizzle in the television and the Roku. So I sent it in with Nick. So Carleen has the fruit that somebody sent. I'm not sure who it was that sent it though. Yep, Wanda did fly south with Janine. No, I didn't get my hair done. I washed it. Oh, that's really funny. I said to Judy, I was coming out to meet Heather because I've never met Heather. And I said to Judy, I'm going to be a bit late. I'm actually going to take this opportunity right now and wash my hair, because every time I get up in the morning, I think, I'm going to wash my hair today because I really need to wash my hair. And then I think, you know what? I'm going to get soaking wet, blown around, or in a right royal mess. There's no point washing my hair. Or I need to get out early to do something, so I don't bother washing my hair. And then I think, oh God, I think that's about 7 days. I better get going. So I got the daily doggy out. I got everything organised. My own dog's organised. The chicken's out. And I thought, I'm washing my hair this morning, because if I don't do it, I'm not going to do it for another week. So there. It's clean. Oh, everything is complicated when it comes to animals. Animals are oblivious to that fact, but everything is complicated. No, Angus is my little furry huggy buggy, but it's Magnus I was talking about. That's correct. It was Larky and Penny, and they saw 17 people. And she said that they've got an egg incubator set up, which was interesting. Yes, you can have a video tour of the repaired barn. I might not do it tonight because the light will probably be going down a little bit. And not only that, I've got to go and get Tanner's barn finished off before it gets dark, because there's no lights in there. It's problematic. But yes, you can, and we can explain what we're doing. It's not quite finished, but we're getting there and it's looking good. No, I do not think farm life is for the faint of heart. It's a terrible amount of very heavy lifting. There are actually... This is an interesting thing, Robin. There are actually hay bale lifters, and they're hooks. One's curved and one's like a T shape, and they've got wooden handles on them. And we have them on the other barn, and I don't know what it is, but we never use them. It's just one of those things. And I think the reason being is that you sort of like, you stab them into the bale, and then sometimes you spend quite a lot of time getting the pointy bit that's going into the bale to grasp it, to lift it, to getting them back out. So it's like an added step. But I'll tell you, it's so sore in your fingers that I think we'll have to sort it out. One of the things I think I might do personally is start putting, instead of lifting hay, if I can avoid it as much as possible, and putting it straight into the hay bags and then transporting the hay bags, because they're actually, because they're in a grid shape, you can get a really good grip on them, and and you're putting it in the hay bags anyway. So that's something that I've been thinking about. And then we really need to technically have a dedicated flat bedded wheelbarrow that transports hay, and isn't used for anything other than feed purposes. But at the moment, our wheelbarrows are being fully utilised with poop. So all these little things that we need to fine tune and get going in the right direction. Oh, hello, Anne. Yes, that would be lovely. I've got you down, and I have got your ladies down for my rabbits. There. There's Brittany. She's probably running away because she'll be sitting here thinking, if I go down there, I'm going to get a job stuffing bags. I've still got those to go out, Brittany. Look, they're still sitting there. I need to pay the post office a little trip. So, now this is funny. I have got no questions past Brittany, so I don't know why that is. But if there's anything that I have missed, I shall go back and sort that out later. Oh my goodness. Right, where are we? Nope, that's the last question I have. Okay, so there we have it. That's Friday done and dusted. So I'm away off back into the barn to play with hay, water and mucking. And then I'm moving on to feed. So lots to do, lots to see. And Wallace is hoping to come down. He was supposed to be here last night, but he didn't quite make it. So he's hoping to be down tonight. And he should be training in the arena. That's why I keep putting all the hay that's in the arena in bags, because it's far easier for Wallace and far more time efficient for Wallace, instead of having to pick up all the loose hay that's kicking around if he just has to pick up bags. So that's it. That's my master plan. I think I've got all these cunning plans. Not all of them work out, but I'm giving it a really good shot. Okay, so we'll let you know how we're getting on over the weekend. And I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Night, night.